Hi, I'm Gabbitt and I'm going to talk about how I made this low poly scene here. Okay, well obviously I'll start with a plane and increase the vertices, the polys. Then I go to my sculpt tool and get the grab option, the grab brush, and I start to make some hills. Then I put in an extra mesh at the back for the mountains, that probably need a little bit more detail, and then again use the grab tool just to pull them out. Okay, I grabbed all the hills at that point and lowered them down by using the scale Z. Set my camera up at that point so I can start thinking about exactly what the scene's going to look like, and then push the verts around with the grab tool again. Here I'm creating a little channel for my lake and just add another plane in there. Then I'm starting to look at the materials, just set them out and map them out simply. At this point I thought I'd chop my mesh up into pieces. Looking back, that was probably a silly idea, and I should have just assigned different materials to the same mesh, and that caused me a few problems later on. And now I'm fiddling with the sky texture. It took me a while to figure that one out actually, and whether that was the right thing to do. In the end I decided to change that and just actually put a blue plane in the background with a ramp map on it. So I've got some simple rocks and then snowy mountains in the background. Then I added a Hemi light for the shadows. So I thought at first the low poly mesh would look more interesting with shadows on one side, and I decided to start texturing all the objects with a toon texture at this point. But I changed my mind right at the very end and put them back to diffuse. You can go for either, but I kind of wanted a more pastel look rather than the sort of very hard edges. Just moving the mountains around in the background here. At this point I just selected the faces. Wasn't particularly tidy, but it didn't really need to be. And it's not necessarily going to be used for gaming or anything like that. It was just a quick test. A little bit of save my scene because I hadn't done that yet. At this point I start making the trees. So a simple cylinder, and then make it into a sort of hexagon with only 6 vertices. Pull bits out for the branches, so there's sort of like dead branches there. Then in a second, when I start messing around with this, I start putting the texture in, I think, yep. Again, went for the toon texture, but I changed that later. And simple spheres for the foliage. And just duplicate those, resize them, and they look nice and fluffy. Push them around a little bit as well, I didn't want them perfect spheres. Which was using the grab tool. I think I used the sculpt tool for that again. At that point, once I've got my tree, you just simply copy it. I did change the texture slightly on each of the spheres as well, just to give it a little bit of vibrancy. Just start adding more of these around the place. And I've actually given the illusion of a perspective, so I just scaled it down for the ones in the distance. Some bushes at the front there. And this time I thought I'd make that a rock, so I scaled it down, squashed it. Again, using the sculpt tool is the easiest way, quickest way. Not sure what I'm doing here with the camera. And then I actually took the foliage from the tree, copied it and put it into the sky for the clouds. Wasn't really happy with the clouds. I did ask for some feedback from the Blender community on Google+, and someone else said they thought I needed to work on the clouds, so I did in the end. So there's the finished one with all the toon texturing, and I thought I'd change that and change it across to back to the diffuse, and I think that looks a bit nicer, to be honest, and lighten the clouds a little bit. And there we go, thanks for watching.